In today's video, we're going to be testing out the Revopoint Inspire 3D scanner. And when I say we, this is a collaboration with my friend Olivizzle. You can find his 3D files on his Cult 3D page, and in this video he's going to be using the scanner to create some custom body kits for some of the projects he is working on. If you want to follow along with those projects, be sure to give him a follow on Instagram and of course also on his Cult 3D page. The Revopoint Inspire comes with a lot of accessories to make scanning a lot easier and a lot more accurate. There's a couple of different sheets with all of these small stickers. They are sort of a registration points markers that you can put onto the objects that you're scanning, and that helps the scanner keep place and know the position in order to match up all of those scans and get the best possible scan that you can out of one of these. It also comes with a small turntable which you can put your models on top of, so it can just start spinning 360 degrees in order to get all of the different angles on the model. It also comes with a small fun statue that you can scan as your first test to see what it is capable of and how detailed these scanners can be. Of course, also a small tripod, the power cable, and some other bits and bobs that will be needed to plug the scanner in and get it ready for use. And last but not least, the scanner itself, of course. It is nice and compact, really light. It's not made out of super heavy materials, therefore it is really light. Most of the body seems to be made out of plastic and a bit of plexiglass or glass on the front to cover and protect the cameras. It doesn't really feel super high quality due to most of the body being made out of plastic and it therefore being a little bit lighter, but then again, judging it on that for the quality is of course not the right thing to do, so let's see how it actually scans itself and judge it on the scans. And in order to do that, you of course need to plug it in, set it up, and get it ready to scan. That is pretty much done in a matter of seconds. Unfold the tripod, plug in the cables, put your object on the turntable, and let it roll. Since I myself am really incapable when it comes to designing any 3D stuff or most computer stuff, I thought it was best to collaborate with someone who is actually capable of doing some video for me and also of course the scanning and 3D modeling. And that was done by my friend Olivizzle, as mentioned at the beginning of the video. I will be leaving links to all his pages in the description down below, so be sure to check those out. So he started on a couple of projects. The first one is one of the simpler projects, and that is turning a Ferrari Super America into a Ferrari 550 Barchetta. Now for that he will be needing some parts from another kit, and that is the 550 Maranello, also Ferrari, also from Fujimi. So we will just be simply gluing the front bumper from that kit onto the Super America body, and he will also be needing the rear end, and then the other parts will simply be scanned, cut out, remodeled, printed, and then all works into place. So with the front bumper already swapped out and glued in place, the last thing to do was cut off the rear end from the 550 Maranello and then graft that into the rear end of the 550 Barchetta. Once that was completed, the rest of the body could then be scanned and all of the new parts could be modeled in the 3D modeling software to fit into the curves of the Fujimi kit and of course the custom kit bashed parts. And then the final 3D renders could be made specifically for the rear cover on the roof section, which is no longer there, making it the Barchetta, kind of like a speedster with the two small humps. Those were then 3D printed and grafted into the body, and finishing off most of the 550 Barchetta modifications and completing the body itself. And that project will then be completed at a later stage. Again, I will be leaving links in the description to Olivizzle's pages. Before moving on to the next project, I want to take a second to thank our sponsor, JLC PCB. If you're in need of PCBs, 3D printing, or even CNC parts, JLC PCB is the place to be. Simply upload your files, select the materials, and you get an instant quote. 3D printing starts at $1, and they currently have a nice discount for 40% off on metal printing and a 12% discount on SLA 9000R. And if you're not looking for 3D printed parts but want some parts machined, they can help you out as well, along with of course the PCBs. I will be leaving a link down below in the description to JLC PCB. Thank you for sponsoring this video. Now back to the action. After completing the first project with the 550 Barchetta, there was of course a part left over from the 550 Maranello that was no longer really usable for a full build, so it would require a new body kit, and for that of course we needed a full scan of the body again to model all the new parts on top of. In order to get the most accurate scans, there are some dots on the body itself, which I mentioned before, some of these registration points to make the scanning more accurate and have the scans align a lot better, therefore making it a lot easier to scan and get more precise scans from it. Even though Oliver isn't all that experienced when it comes to 3D scanners, this is actually the second time he has used a scanner and the software. He did mention that it didn't really take all that much time to learn the software, so it is really easy to use. It has a good capability of showing the screen on which the object is being scanned and filmed at the same time, and therefore getting a really good idea of what is being captured in real time, and also if the camera is fully and nicely aligned with the object you're going to scan. He did mention that the dimensional accuracy of this scanner was also really good, as all of the parts that were printed pretty much fitted on it the first time around and no adjustments were required. Now, one thing he did want me to mention is that the scanning is really good, although the copying of parts he found was not really something this scanner was super capable of or capable at, and it's just better to scan some objects like this and build some stuff around it and not straight copying parts like you see something on the street or your house or your cat, for instance, and scanning that in order to create a super nice copy. That is not something he felt super comfortable with doing on this scanner, and not some of the results that didn't come out really nicely. Now, luckily for us, we're not really looking to copy anything. We just need the basic body and the good accuracy for the dimensions in order to create a new body kit on top of it. Now, with the 550 Maranello, we did not have a front bumper that matched this one, only the one from the Super America, and I believe that is a 575. So we needed to create a new front bumper, and he also wanted to get a little more wild, so he created some over fenders for on the front and on the side and even on the doors. Now, at the end, he also cut off the rear section and replaced that on the 550. The Barchetta in that case, so he didn't have a rear end, so that also needed to be scanned, replicated, or modified, and then printed. And with that all done, this is the first test fit with some of the body kit cleaned up and primed along with the body, and as you can see, it slid right in place, making sure that everything fits nice and smooth and doesn't really have any problems whatsoever. So this is also a really good showcase of that dimensional accuracy being really nice, as it just slid on and fits it really nicely as if it was a sock slid onto a foot, creating all of the contours and getting a really nice and tight fit on the bodywork. If you're interested in one of these scanners, I will be leaving a link in the description down below, so feel free to check those out.